All right, so I'll switch to my other camera here.
So I have I've built a new deck. I've wanted to build this for a while. I just thought of a way to do it. So the commander is called Ovika Enigma Goliath. This is from uh, All Will Be One. Sorry, not March of the Machines. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So this is a 6/6 flyer, has Ward 3 and pay 3 life. So similar to your Ygra deck, you have to pay 3 mana and pay 3 life in order to target it. And whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I create red goblins equal to the casting cost. And they
Hmm.
have haste until end of turn. So yeah, this deck, the idea is to create goblins based off spells that I cast that are not creatures. Once she's in play, but she costs 7 mana to play. So
Wow.
yeah,
You know
we'll
what?
see how it goes.
I'm really curious to see how that will play for you. You know why?
Why?
Because Ovika is also in the Founders Collection, the
Yeah,
Starter Collection, the Foundation Starter Collection, which I got for Christmas, right? And
yeah.
so they actually, what is it, the Command Zone guys or whoever, they actually built a deck based on it. And so I have that here, and I have never played it. So I put all the cards that they recommend in there. So I'm really curious to see how this will play for you because I'd be really interested to, first of all, have an idea of how this really plays. I was kind of intimidated by it. And then the second thing is, if it's any good, then maybe we could play them against each other. That'd be cool.
Sure. And yeah, so my idea was it has just a couple of other creatures in it.
Hmm.
So my idea here was to put more mana generation artifacts specifically in here in order to get to that 7 mana casting cost. And then most of my other spells are either counter spells or they draw me cards.
Mm.
So it's and a couple of payoffs are based on creatures entering the battlefield.
Mm.
Specifically, Impact Tremors. It's an enchantment that whenever a creature enters under my control, you get hit, or my opponents get hit for one damage. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
That's pretty nice.
Uh, this is I built it. I solitaired a little bit just to see how the draws look and if it works out. It didn't, so I've made some adjustments, and this is the first time I'm going to play this deck.
That's
So
awesome.
we'll see
Very
what
cool. I'm
happens.
very curious. And did you need to get some coffee before we get started?
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I think
Give
I'm
me a
gonna
few
go grab
minutes.
some quickly as well. I'll pause it here and we'll continue right after, okay?
Okay, sounds
And we're back. It looks like we have the same sleeves today, or close to, anyways.
good. Are they? Oh, no, this is no, these are Dragon Shield petrol color. You have
Uh-huh.
something more purple, I think.
Yeah, it's actually blue. I have straight up purple for the Bloomborough deck. Yeah. I found this neat like multi-pack on Amazon. It's like you get 5 colors.
Uh-huh.
Because what I have is I use black in my bulk. I actually have all my bulk sleeved actually. So it's technically not bulk, I guess, because I don't have like a huge collection, at least by my estimates. And so what I did is I was like, well, if I want to protect these cards, I better have them sleeved. So actually, the last few decks I built, they all have black sleeves because I basically just assembled it from cards that I already had in the collection. So,
Yeah.
but I found this cool, like a multi-color thing. You buy like 5 packs. They come from Amazon, and then you can sleeve a bunch of different decks if you need to. Um, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I still have several sealed packages of sleeves that I haven't used. So this is a new one, new sleeves. I had the same color on a different deck already, but I was building this and I just put them in here. So
Yeah.
yeah, need to fill up the second box.
Fill out the second box of what?
of decks. Remember, my wife gave me the big box where I keep my decks in. So she gave me a second one this Christmas. So
Oh, like the toolbox?
yeah,
That is so cool. Yeah, I have, it's kind of funny because I started out getting these precons, right? And so now that making the precons so interesting, it's very hard to even get into building my own deck. Like even this one here, the Ygra one, I kind of like just started and I went, okay, I really want to build around this cat. And then I basically just plucked a bunch of cards that were in the, what do you call it, in the correct colors, you know?
yeah.
And it's only after playing it with you that I realized, oh wow, actually, the reason I'm even competitive is because this card is so OP. This Ygra Eater of all, it's just so, you know, like an OP almost, And
Well,
so then,
it's good, right? And the most important part is that you have fun playing it, right? So
yeah,
that's uh, yeah. So I mean, with more stuff that you get, you have more options, and I like building decks. It's a good.
mm,
I mean, it's one way to get to know all the different cards that you have, right?
mm,
And then playing with others, you get to know all the cards that you don't have or that you don't use. So that's why I enjoy building.
definitely. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep this. No
Yeah,
mulligan for
me
me.
too.
Okay, who's starting
Paul
today?
says that I'm going to start today.
Okay, great.
All right. I'm going to start off with um, Thundering Falls. Comes in tapped. I get to surveil one.
Okay.
I am going to send that to the bottom. Sorry, not to the bottom, to the graveyard. The negate. It's a counter spell. Counter target non-creature spell.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want that right now, and you can go ahead.
Okay, I'll draw for turn. Okay. All right, I'm going to play a swamp for turn, and I'll play Infestation Sage for my one swamp. Infestation Stage, our old friend. It's an elf warlock. Uh, one
When it dies,
one.
you create an insect.
Yep. When I die, I create a 1/1 black and green insect creature with token with flying. Back to
Mhm.
you.
All right, untap, draw. Okay. I am going to play this Fire Buff Bluff Canal. It comes in tapped unless I control two or few other lands, so it comes in untapped. I'll pay two for an Arcane Signet and pass it to you.
Excellent. I untap for turn. Draw a card for turn. Oh, okay. Should be tough. Okay, I'm going to play a swamp and then I will attack you with Infestation Sage. 1/1.
Take one. Sorry, I take one.
Okay. Your turn. Back to you.
Okay. Untap, draw. I'm going to play this island. Yeah, I'll tap two for an Erebor Flamesmith.
Ooh.
Whenever I cast an instant or sorcery, it deals one damage to each opponent. And I'll pay two more, and I'm going to play a Mind Stone. Taps for one colorless, tap it and sacrifice it to draw a card. You can go ahead. Your turn.
Excellent. I'm gonna
The
untap.
Flamesmith is a 2/1, by the way.
Okay. I'm gonna untap. Draw for turn. Ooh. Okay. I'll play my swamp. And then I will play uh Then I will play Heraldic Banner for 3 mana. Heraldic Banner is an artifact. As Heraldic Banner enters the battlefield, choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+0. And then if I tap, I get 1 mana of the chosen color. I will choose green.
Okay.
And then I will. And then I
You will
will
what?
attack. I
Oh,
will
attack.
attack you with Infestation Sage.
I will not block. I will take one.
Okay.
Unless you have any effects.
No.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope. That's it. Back to you.
Okay. Untap.
I love that Infestation Sage. It's just such a nice card.
Going to play my land. Six. I'm going to attack you with my Flamesmith for 2.
Okay. I'll take the damage.
Okay. And I'll pass.
All right. Untap for turn. I'll draw a card for turn. Ooh, okay. This is a card I haven't played before. I have it in my deck, but I've never played it before, so I got to read a little bit more. Sorry.
No
Um,
problem.
okay. Yikes. Okay, I am going to play a swamp for turn, and I will attack you with Infestation Sage.
Um, Before blocks, I am going to pay 3.
Mm-hmm.
With Flash, I'm going to play this Valley Flood Caller. It has Flash. I may cast non-creature spells as though they had Flash. And whenever I cast a non-creature spell, my birds, frogs, otters, and rats get +1/+1, and I untap them.
Yikes. Okay.
Uh, he's a 2/2, and I'm going to block your 1/1 with my 2/2.
Okay. So then we're assigning damage next, right?
Unless you have any other effects.
Not at this time, no. So that
All
means my
right,
Infestation Stage dies, right?
that's correct.
So Infestation Stage dies. When he dies, create a +1/+1/1 black and green insect creature. So that's what I'm gonna do right here. Doesn't have trample, your guy, right?
So you're attacking me.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. My mistake. Okay, so yeah, that's
So
it.
no, he doesn't have trample, but you're the one attacking. So
That's right. Okay, so so that's the end of my turn.
you're not going to use your mana?
No.
Okay. All right.
Oh, actually, wait, hang on. Nope, I'm not.
All right. Okay. Untap. Draw. Ooh. Okay.
In hindsight, I should have taken the mulligan.
Yeah, that you should have. I'm going to pay 4, and I'm going to play Urabrask. Urabrask is a 4/4 with first strike that says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, he deals you 1 point of damage. Well, he deals 1 point of damage to target opponent, and I add 1 red mana. And then for 1 red mana, I can exile him and then return him transformed under my control. But I can only do this if I have cast 3 or more instants and/or sorceries this turn. So he becomes a saga on the flip side. But mostly he's here that whenever I cast an instant or sorcery, I get 1 red mana and I hit you for 1. So
Gotcha.
he's a 4/4 with first strike. It is surprising that I don't usually do much foil cards in my deck, but these were just the versions that I had. So all 3 of these are foil. So
Hmm.
it looks like and there are, yeah, this looks way more impressive than it actually is.
That's
Anyways,
cool.
I'm going to attack you with my 2/2.
I'll take the damage.
Okay.
I
And
realized when you said earlier, it's like you want to play something. I misread something. I should have played something, but it's okay. We're learning.
okay. Um, I will pass the turn to you.
Excellent. So I would untap for turn, but there's nothing to untap. I draw for turn. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Well, hopefully this will get me out of it. So I'm going to play Traverse the Outlands, which is a sorcery for 5 mana, 4 and 1 green. Here I'm using my Heraldic Banner to make the 1 green. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So in this case, the power I have is only one, so I only get to take 1 card. Definitely should have taken that mulligan.
Yeah, you needed green in that opening hand.
Yep, I sure did. I was like, yeah, I can do it. Nope. So I bring a forest. They enter tapped, and I'm gonna shuffle. Uh, and turn goes to you.
Untap. Draw. Oof. Okay. It's very interesting. This deck does not have many creatures, but I've been drawing all of them instead of the extra land that I wanted. So, okay, I'm going to pay 6. No, you know what? First, I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack you for 6 first. A 2/2 and a 4/4 with first strike.
Okay, I will. Oh, Jesus. I will block your 4/4 with my flying insect.
Okay, and take the 2 from the flood color, right?
That's right.
Okay. Um, yeah, you said I shouldn't hold back anymore, so
Yeah.
I'm playing the Locust God.
Okay.
The Locust God, he's a flying 4/4 god. He says whenever I draw a card, I create a 1/1 blue and red insect creature token with flying and haste. And I can pay 2 in blue red, draw a card, discard a card, and when he dies, I return it to my hand at the beginning of the next end step.
Oh, wow. This is going to be short, isn't it?
Um, this goes nuts if I'm able to draw cards. I have a lot on my table that enables me to play spells and get effects. I've only been drawing creatures.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's a great setup. But this one, the next turn, when I draw my card for turn, I will be able to create a 1/1 insect with haste. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna end my turn there and see what you do with this.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay. I'm going to untap, draw for turn. Okay. Well, there's that forest. We'll play forest. Um, okay. Okay, okay. We might be able to do something here. Okay, great. I will. Okay, I will first cast my commander, which is Ygra, the Eater of all. It's 5 mana, one black, one green, and then three whichever. So that means I need a total of 5, right? So I'm using 4 swamps in my heraldic banner, so I can cast Ygra, and I'm also going to cast the Keen-Eyed Curator. Keen-Eyed Curator is a raccoon scout. So Ygra is a 6/6 legendary creature with ward, sacrifice of food. Other creatures are food artifacts in addition to their other types and have sacrifice this permanent, you gain 3 life. Whenever a food is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put 2+1/+1 counters on Ygra, Eater of all. So that's my commander. And I'm also going to cast a Keen-Eyed Curator for my 2 remaining forests. Keen-Eyed Curate is a raccoon scout. As long as there are 4 or more card types among cards exiled with Keen-Eyed Curator, it gets a +4/+4 and has trample. And also can pay 1 mana to exile a target card from a graveyard. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I pass the turn to you.
Yeah. Draw my card. When I draw my card, I create my flying insect. You have a 6/6.
I do. And the other one is a 3/3.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to attack you with my flying creatures for a total of 5.
I'll take the damage.
Okay. 5 damage. Post combat. I do not need to do these things now. I have flash from my non-creature spells. I have an ability I can activate. I can do things later. Pass to you.
He says. Okay. Untap. Untap for turn. Draw for turn. Okay. Okay, okay. So we're starting to cook gas here. Hmm. Okay, so let's do this. I need. Okay, okay. Okay, I'm going to. Oh, I see. 1 second. That's not going to work. Need that. Need that. Okay. If I do Teaser here. Hmm. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. So I will cast Billowing Shriekmass. Billowing Shriekmass is a spirit that's flying. When this creature enters, mill 3 cards, and it has threshold. This creature gets +2/+1 as long as there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard. Right now, Billowing Shriekmass is a 2/3, and for him I have to pay 1, 2, 3, 4.
All
Oh,
right.
actually,
And so you're casting it, don't mill yet. I'm going to respond to your cast of that creature.
okay.
Okay, I'm going to pay 3, a blue and 2 more for a frantic search. I get to draw 2 cards, then I discard 2 cards, and then I untap up to 3 lands. Sorry, I
Okay.
tapped this wrong. It was supposed to be this. 3 lands that I'm tapping. So I get to draw 2 cards. Then I will discard 2 cards. When I draw my 2 cards, I will create 2 more insects, flying insects that are these will be untapped. And I get to untap 3 lands. Urabrask will add 1 red mana to my mana pool. He will hit you for 1. My Flamesmith will hit you for 1 because it's both of these trigger on instant casts.
Mm-hmm.
So I've cast 1 thing, added 1 mana, untapped my lands, have 2 new creatures. I'm still going to do more. With the red I have in my mana pool and 1 blue, I'm going to cast Bring the End. Bring the Ending, it says counter target spell unless its controller pays 2 generic mana. On this cast, you will take 2 damage, and I will add another red to my mana pool. So unless you pay 2 more, your creature gets counterspelled.
You mean the casting of the creature?
Yes, it will not have the effect of the milling, and it will never enter the battlefield.
Okay, so yeah, I will pay 2 mana.
Okay. All right. With the okay, you can continue.
All right, so that means now I get to mill 3 cards.
Yes.
It's Rogue's Passage, Nessian Hornbeetle, and Nasty End. Ugh, damn. Okay, the amount of cards in my graveyard is 5. So it means I don't have the threshold for this one. Okay. And then let's see. So and then so I just cast Billowing Shriek Mass. Oh, I see. Okay, then I want to use my Heraldic Banner. I'm tapping 1 green. So I can exile a target card from a graveyard. I'm going to choose your graveyard. What do you have in your graveyard? What can I exile?
Negate, Bring the Ending, which are counter spells. Frantic Search, which draws me cards. Devastation Tide, which returns all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. And the Wayfarer's Bauble. Pay
Ooh.
2 to sacrifice it and get a basic land card. Which one do you want to
I
exile?
think I think the one that lets you draw the cards.
Frantic Search.
It's either
Got
that or negate. Any thoughts?
it. I have thoughts, but your decision.
Okay. Keep that a separate pile because this here is like um so we need to know how many I usually exile this way. Okay, because if
Yeah,
I have 4 or more card types among the cards exiled with Keynote Curator, I get a +4/+4. All
got
right.
it.
Okay, and then I'm going to attack you with
Wait, before you change,
uh-huh.
I still have 1 red in my mana pool.
Yeah.
I would like to the red, blue, and 2 more. I'm going to activate the Locust God. I'm going to draw a card and then discard a card. Draw and discard. I'm going to discard this mountain. When I drew the card, I get to make another insect. Okay, proceed.
Okay. What are your defenders looking like at the moment? What do you have? I'm sorry, I can't see it in the
4/4 with first strike, 2/2, and 2/1, and 3/1/1 insects with flying.
Okay. So one more time, you have there's a 4/4. I wasn't paying enough attention.
2/1, 2/2, 4/4, and 3/1/1s.
Okay. Um, so remind me, how does this work? Like example here, like right. So if let's say I attack you with Ygra, that's a 6/6. You can block it. If you block it with several creatures, then you could essentially destroy mine, right? Because you can choose to block with two, no?
I can block with all of them if I want to.
Right, and then that would then kill me?
If I get to 6 power that blocks you, yes.
Hmm. All right, I'm gonna hold off. Your turn.
Okay. Untap. We have 4 flying creatures. Draw my card. Create 1 more.
Would it
Here.
be fair to say that you thought to create and use this deck against the Ygra deck because you have very few creatures in it to begin with?
No, I wanted to build a blue-red deck that doesn't always win the way that blue-red decks win,
I
which is
see.
usually with one big spell. I'm trying to uh, the idea is with goblins, essentially attacking with a bunch of small creatures.
Hmm.
It, right now, I have 3 creatures that interact with me casting, making it better or doing something when I cast, and I have 1 that creates small creatures. Right, so the locust god is essentially a different version of Ovika because he creates insects, right? So yeah, this is most of the spells I have either copy, counter, or draw me cards. And then all the creatures have something based off of either creatures entering or spells being cast.
Gotcha.
I've just been unlucky with the cards that I've drawn, which is not drawing more cards, and the cards that I've drawn haven't super enabled me. Um, yeah. Um, I'm going to pay 4 mana to activate the Locust God's ability to draw a card and discard a card. I'm going to discard Reverberate. Me drawing a card triggers him, so I have now 6 flyers. Reverberate is an instant for 2 red mana, which allows me to copy an instant or sorcery spell and choose new targets. So I can copy a spell on while it's being cast. Now I'm going to play my land for turn. And you don't have flyer. You have a flyer.
Yeah, one.
Okay. I'm going to move to attacks. I'm going to attack you with 6/1/1s and my 4/4 in the air.
Mm, okay. So remind me, how does it work? So like I have the Billowing Shriek Mass, and it has a defense of like 3, which means I can block 3 of you guys, but then the rest
No, you
basically
can
comes
block
through,
a
right?
creature. You have to choose which creature you block. Many creatures can block 1, but 1 can only but you it doesn't say that it can block more than 1 creature.
Oh, I
You have
see.
to choose
Okay.
which creature you block.
Okay, so again, you're attacking me with 2 flyers. One of them, and then that's
I'm
the
attacking you with 7 flyers in total. I
uh-huh.
have 1/4/4 flyer, and the rest are 1/1s. So it's 7 creatures that are attacking you.
And okay, and I will block your 4/4 flyer.
You don't have to tap to block.
Thank you, sir.
So you're blocking my 4/4 with your 2/3, right?
Yes.
Okay,
And then the other ones I can't because nothing else is flying or has reach.
right. Okay, so are you good to go to damage?
Yes.
Okay, so you take 6 damage from my 6/1/1s, and
Hmm.
your billowing shriek mass will die.
Okay.
which does trigger Ygra.
That's right. So I get to put 2 +1 +1,
All
which
right,
means, yeah.
cool. No other second main phase. I have nothing else. Pass to you.
Okay. Okay, and I'll untap for turn. Draw for turn. Okay. So now I'm basically like kind of scrambling because you can do all kinds of stuff on my turns. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm pretty low on life already. The first mistake, I should have taken the mulligan. Second thing, I should have cast this thing I could have at that time, and I wasn't using the mana for anything else because I misread. Didn't have known that card. And so now here we are. So let's see how we go with this. Okay. Uh, okay. Um, okay, so I will start by casting Harmonize. Harmonize is a sorcery that allows me to draw 3 cards.
Yep.
Any objections? Problems? No?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to Harmonize. I'll draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3, which means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand. And then let's see here. Um, okay. Then I'm going to play my a forest for turn. Um, the thing I exiled from your graveyard earlier, what was that? Was a creature, right?
Instant.
Instant. Okay. Um, interesting. Okay. I'm going to play. I'm going to play Gooseberry Cultivator. That's a Squirrel Warlock creature, which costs me 3 mana. So I'll use 1 swamp, and my Heraldic Banner, and my last forest. Okay, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may forage, exile 3 cards from your graveyard, or sacrifice a food. Whenever you forage, put a +1/+1 counter on Gooseberry Cultivator. Okay. And then I want to. Hmm. What are the creatures you have again? You have only 4 right there, right?
2/1, 2/2, 4/4. And these are tapped. It's a 4/4 and 6/1/1s.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to cast Shelob's Ambush. I did this wrong again, but anyway, okay. Um, I'm going to target Ygra of all. Target creature gets +1 and +2 and gains death touch until end of turn. Create a food token. It is an artifact with sacrifice and gain life.
Okay.
So this is a food token. And this is sacrifice. Right? 3 life. Okay. Okay. And then up here, Ygra has a temporary.
+1/+2. Yeah. And death touch.
There we go. Okay. Right. Okay. Now this is gone. All right. Um, and I'm trying to see what I'm missing. I'm missing something that I was going to do. Okay. So that's all my stuff done here. So and again, to sacrifice, I have to pay the mana, right? 2 and flip it, right?
Uh, that's what it says, yes, but you have a card on your table that allows you to sacrifice at a specific moment in time for free. Your gooseberry cultivator says something at the beginning
Yeah.
of what?
Yeah, it says, exile 3 cards from or oh, okay. This one just says sacrifice, but it doesn't say when. Yeah, that's what I was missing. Thank you.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
doesn't say that you have to pay its cost. It's part of the forage cost that you sacrifice. So you don't pay the 2 mana for the food to be sacrificed
right.
at the
Okay.
beginning of combat.
Okay. So I would next like to enter combat.
Okay.
Okay. At the beginning of combat, I may forage, so I can exile 3 cards from a graveyard or sacrifice a food. So I will sacrifice this food.
Yeah, you
Does
don't
it
get the
also?
3 life though. You don't get the 3 life because you're sacrificing it to the effect of the cultivator.
Right.
But it will trigger Ygra.
That's right. So sacrifice this. So now Ygra has an additional plus, essentially +2/+2.
Well, yeah, it gets counters, right? You already have the dice on it.
So it's from a +2/+2 goes to a +4/+4.
And your gooseberry cultivator does its effect when you forage.
Yeah, and he gets a +1/+1. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to. So I cannot attack with the gooseberry cultivator because he's got summoning sickness, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and I will now attack you with Ygra and the Keen-Eyed Curator. Ygra is a 10/10, and the Keen-Eyed Curator is a 3/3.
Okay. I shall block your Keen-Eyed Curator with Urabrask.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not block Ygra.
Okay. Does it mean the Keen-Eyed Curator dies?
My creature has first strike, so yes. Mine is a 4/4, and before your damage happens, this damage will happen, yes.
Okay.
So your curator will die, which means that your Ygra will grow.
Up to a 6/6, yes. Also, as I'm
Plus
attacking it,
6.
was it actually Ygra is an 11, not a 10/10 because I have the +1.
No, it's a 13, it's a 13-14.
Oh, because it this happens first?
Yeah, the first strike
Okay.
happens before you get to do your damage, so it grows before it damages.
Okay.
So that's 13 commander damage I'm gonna take.
Mm-hmm.
10, 2, 3, that's 13 commander damage.
And remind me, how much commander damage does someone have to take in order to die from commander damage only?
21.
Okay. Okay, so that's the end of my turn.
Okay, on tap.
And this death touch stuff now goes away because it's only for the end of turn, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so I'll eliminate that.
Draw my cards, make another insect. You have 19 life. Going to play my land for turn.
That sounds ominous. You have 19 life
Yeah,
now,
so I have
at the
2,
moment.
4, 8, 12, 19 damage.
Hmm.
19, you can block one creature.
So as long as you figure out how to give me one additional damage, we're basically toast.
Yeah, I'm going to pay 1 to sacrifice the Mind Stone to draw a card. When I draw a card, I make another insect. I'm going to Ygra says all creatures are artifact are foods, or what is food?
Other creatures are food artifacts.
Okay, so you don't get a trigger of my Mind Stone.
That's correct. Yeah, I was looking at that.
I'm going to pay 4 blue, red, and 2 more to activate the Locust God, draw a card, and discard a card. When I draw a card, I make another insect.
There you go.
Then I would like to move to combat
All
and
right.
attack with 9 1/1s, a 4/4, another 4/4, and 2/2, and 2. So with everything. That's 2, 4, 8, 12, 21 points of damage, of which you could block one creature that's on the
Right.
ground. Your thingamajig is what? How big is it? It's a
My
4/4,
goose
right?
my gooseberry cultivator.
Yeah,
He's a 3/4.
3/4. Yeah,
So I
I'm gonna
so I,
leave you at what you're probably going to block the biggest one you can, which is Urabrask, which
yeah,
is 4 points of damage. 21 minus 4 is
17.
17.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, your cultivator will die, which will grow your Ygra. I will leave you at 2 life, and I have no way to deal the 2 damage.
Okay. So yeah,
But
I will do that. I
still,
will defend against it.
uh-huh,
So that means gooseberry cultivator dies.
yes.
And I'm adding +2 to my Ygra. And
And you
I'm left
take,
with, you said 2 life, right? 3 life?
yeah, 2 life. Post combat, I'm going to pay a red, and I'm going to play Skirk Prospector. It's a 1/1 goblin that has sacrifice a goblin, add red mana. Your Igor doesn't trample, right?
No.
Okay, fantastic. Um, End my turn. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to try. Untap for turn.
Can you see if you can focus the camera? Sorry.
Oh, sure. Let's see. That's kind of annoying when it does that. There you go.
There you go. Mhm.
Okay. All right, so untapped. Whew, I'm gonna draw for turn. Yeah. Okay. Um, well, I'm going to play a forest for my turn, and then I'm going to play. Interesting. I think I gotta try. So here. Okay, I'm going to play Vengeful Blood Witch
Yep.
for these two. It's a vampire
I remember
warlock,
it. So
1/1. Huh?
whenever a creature you control dies, you gain 1 life, I lose 1 life.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and that's the first one. And then I'm going to play the Apothecary Stomper, which is I'm going to use my 2 green mana, and then I said this is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one of the swamps is 6 altogether. The Apothecary Stomper is a 4 mana, 2 green, has Vigilance. And when this creature enters, choose one. Either put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature you control, or you gain 4 life. I would like to gain 4 life, please.
Okay. Gain 4 life.
Uh, what was that? Sorry.
You gain 4 life. Yes.
Excellent. Um, and then I would like to. So vigilance just means it doesn't cause it to tap. It doesn't have haste, so I still can't attack with the Apothecary Stomper, right?
Correct.
All right. I will attack you with my Vengeful Blood Witch and with my Ygra Eater of All.
The Blood Witch will not attack.
That's right. They're also summoning sickness. Correct.
Okay.
So just Ygra.
Tap it to signify it attacks.
Yes, sir.
I would like to block with my 1/1.
Because he doesn't have trample.
That's correct.
Damn. Okay. So I guess your 1/1 dies, right?
My 1/1 dies, your Ygra grows.
Yep. All right. Back to you.
Right? Untap. Draw my card. Create a flying 1/1. You don't have reach, right?
I do not.
Okay. I am going to attack you with 10 1/1s in the air.
Okay. GG, Tap. Nice job. You got me.
This was right. So the guy I just played, the Skirk Prospector, it says sacrifice a goblin to add red mana.
Hmm.
This specifically is in here because Ovika creates goblins,
Hmm.
right? So these two play well together to give me more mana to cast more things. I was never able to profitably cast my commander because Ygra was big, so I needed to do other things. But thankfully, the Locust God gave me the creatures that I needed to fly over your big ass defenses. And in my hand, I had another artifact that gives me mana and a land. So didn't
Yeah.
really have many payoffs. Ah, anyways, yes, I was lucky, but realistically, what won was the Locust God with his flyers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
It was a good job.
yeah, and it's a very difficult creature to take care of because yeah, it returns to my hand, so I can replay it. So it has to be exiled with an effect, or put into my library, like with the Chaos Warp or something like that.
Mm.
So yeah, so it was a good game. Um, I was lucky because you did not you did not take the mulligan.
Yeah, you're upside down.
So
Yeah,
you were hurting green mana.
yeah. So and I realized it too late. I tend to forget. So that I'm still just noob stuff, right? I tend to forget that you really only draw one card on your turn. And I actually had Harmonize in my hand in the beginning, so I was like, oh, Harmonize, and I totally it's so stupid. I totally didn't look at how much Harmonize actually costs because it's expensive. You know?
It is expensive, but it draws you three cards, so it is something to do. It's a good card. I advised you to put it in there.
Yeah.
So I think you if you had done the mulligan to have green and black mana in your hand, I think you would have been able to play more of your hand because you were until you played the Traverse the Outlands non-profitably actually because you went to go for one land for 5 mana.
Yeah, I
It's a
know.
terrible rate.
It's terrible.
So
It's terrible waste. I know.
if it had been the other way around, like if you had had the 4 forests and one swamp, you would have been able to play your hand,
Yeah.
right? So that's a thing that usually the way that decks that have green play is that you want the green source, right? It's like the necessity because it enables you to play the cards that allow you to get more lands, right? So you may not have all of them in your deck, but usually green is a necessity because it allows for the land ramp. And if you're taking a hand, which is, if you don't have any sources that provide you green, but you have like the Soul Ring or the Arcane Signet, then it can be fine, right? But then evaluating your opening hand is something you haven't learned yet, or
Mastered. Yeah.
at least not done. For me, any deck I play, I want 3 lands in my opening hand. Any deck. Because 3 is usually the breaking point. Like where below 3, there's very select things that you do, which is usually ramp. But above 3, you get to play what your deck is supposed to, right? So, and worst case scenario, usually with 3 mana, you can play like your deck. We've evaluated that you have 3 and 4 as where most of your cards are, or your average of your cards. So if you get to 4 mana, then you're usually okay, right? Um, but in your case, you need both colors, right?
Yeah.
So even this one, I kept a hand with 2 lands that potentially entered tapped, but they gave me both of the colors I needed, right? And I also had that Arcane Signet. So I had 3 mana. So it allowed me to play the rest of the cards that I already knew I had in my hand. So that for me was okay. So I didn't have 3 lands, but I had 2 lands plus another mana source. 3 mana to play of the 7 cards I had in my opening hand. There was one I couldn't play with that mana. Everything else I drew into. So it's like evaluating. I want 3 lands or at the very least 3 mana sources. Ideally, in this deck, which doesn't have green, I want 3 lands and another mana source. The alternative to that extra mana source is something that helps me find the mana source. So something that
Right.
draws me cards.
Yeah, that was the
Like
harmonize, and also then the one where I only got one out of it, and I could have had I don't know how many, right? So that was so really you're
yeah,
right. In this
like
case, the biggest thing,
the traverse the outlands. If you had it the turn after you played Ygra, which is a 6/6 to start with, right? You pay 5 mana to get 6 lands. That would have already been great. But for 5 mana, you want to get at least 3 lands.
three
So you
lands,
need
yeah.
3/3 in play. And you had it in your hand, but you didn't have the extra green mana to play it. So yeah, what evaluating your hand is like um, how many pips of the specific color do you need? So yeah, saying 3 lands is like a keeper for me is generally right. But if I can't do anything with the colors, then it's bad. I'd rather have the colors than the amount. So
Well, it's also
it really depends, right? So depending on the cards in your deck, and we already know that your card selection isn't as big as mine because of time played, right? And you mostly have that foundations basic the starter, which doesn't have everything, right? You probably saw that now that you've looked at the deck lists for the commander decks for Tarkir. Probably that you saw some cards like, oh, that would be great, or that looks nice, or whatever, right? So there are a bunch of things that are staples in the Commander format that you don't have access to because of how recent you got into the game, right? But having access to the cards, like in my case, and being able to play them that's the RNG aspect of the game, right? Better deck building. I mean, I recognize that my decks are not necessarily built the most optimized way, but I also do revisioning, right? I build it
Yeah.
initially with just the cards I pull out, then I play it a couple of times, and which cards have worked? Did I like the play style? Was the play style properly suited for the cards that I put in, etc. Right? So just to say, I have 100 cards in that deck now. This is the cards that I pulled out that I either already tried or I'm still going to try. There are 40 cards here,
Mhm.
right? So from the
That's like
initial,
literally all the cards other than the lands, basically, right? Like pretty much.
yes, well, almost, right? So when I initially pulled out cards, I had 120 cards, right? So I had 120 cards together with the lands, right? So I started at 40 lands. I went down to 38 after I put in all the artifacts. Now that I've tried it once in a real game and a couple of times just me playing myself, I know that I've put cards in here that are either too high cost or too situational, right? So I need more card draw for this to work, and I need to get to 7 mana. So I already partially solved that, but I didn't draw enough cards because here at the end of the game, now I won, yes, I had 1 card in hand. In these colors, I should never have less than 4, right? Because red and blue are good at drawing cards. And the way this deck wins is creating creature tokens based off me doing other stuff. And that other stuff should be drawing cards. So anyways, it's evaluating, right? So I know that I'm going to pull out a bunch of cards that didn't do anything now, not the counter spells. Those will be like the counter spell I sent to the graveyard, negate. It counters non-creature spells, right? So it didn't. Your deck is mostly creatures,
Right.
so I didn't need the negate. So I sent it to the graveyard. I mean, but that's me knowing what is in your deck, right? The few cards
Yeah.
that are not creatures, I had a counter spell in my hand. I could have countered that Traverse the Outlands, and you would have conceded right then and there. Because,
Yeah.
okay, absolutely no green source, there's no play I can make.
All right.
And I was thinking about it, but I'm like, I do want to play, right? So
Right.
it's
Right.
I could have ended the game there, or at least put you down in the dumps so much is like, even if you had drawn that land, then the next turn, you would have been so far behind because you had just spent 5 mana for nothing because I countered it,
Right.
right? It would have been a bad spot for you. So I'm not going to take out the counter spells, but I'm going to take out a couple of other things. There's
Yeah.
still room for improvement. Obviously, I can just go into my rare binder and find something better, but that's not the point of the deck. Excuse me 1 second, too much water.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think there was one other point where I could have possibly pulled it out, and that was the time when you asked me for, oh, you're gonna use your mana or something, right? Because I had the gooseberry cultivator in hand, and the thing is, I got blinded a bit by what you can do with gooseberry cultivator, right? Rather than just, hey, just get it on the map because it's still a creature that can defend. It's still a creature that you could potentially sacrifice to grow your Ygra. But I just didn't see it at that time. I was like, no, I need to that, and that's a recurring theme for me. I don't like to kill things, right? I'm like once I have it on the board, I want to keep it there, which is very kind of like how I live my life. I want to put things in and leave them there rather than has it already done its service, right? And that's something I got to get better at, right? And then so I didn't play the Gooseberry Cultivator, which basically meant I took all that damage. Because if I don't think it really would have made a huge difference, to be completely honest. The biggest thing really was it was the mulligan. I would have needed to have had more green in hand, and that was the big mistake. But yeah, still good to recognize. I mean, I really got to play more to get it like there. Yeah,
I think, I mean, you did well with what you had, but I mean, I could have blown you out, but you didn't know that, and I didn't tell you until after the game, right? So it would have been a feel bad moment for me because it would have been just, ugh. It was already a bad play, right? It was necessary, but it was a bad play because paying 5 for 1 land is just a terrible rate,
yeah,
right?
it's
Unless it was just mana you wouldn't have used any other way, then it was
right.
just so bad, right? So 5 mana for 1 land with no other upside was I felt really bad by even considering countering it, but it's like competitively or even just efficiently would have been just, yeah, I want to win, and that would have been the clear path to victory because without that
Yeah,
green mana you do nothing.
yeah,
So it would have been a great play in regards to like winning the game. um,
yeah,
So yeah, but it all comes back to your mulligan. But it really sequencing and mulligan and all that stuff. And how well do you know your deck? How probable, like just estimating, like am I to find that green land without this? What else can I do? So I think it was fine. But opening hand is just people say lands and spells, right?
yeah.
But it's a little bit more like most quotes. It's like have the sufficient lands in your opening hand to play the spells that you draw, right? That's the full thing. So for me, that number is three. Three lands of the appropriate colors or the ability to produce the appropriate colors so that I can play the spells that I currently have in hand or most of them.
Mm.
With green decks, you want to be able to play your ramp spells, the spells that find you more lands. And those spells come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9 in mana cost, right? Those green spells that find your lands. The efficient ones are the two in the 2, 3, and 4 slot, right? They either find you 1, 2, or 3 lands. Like you've seen your cultivate or your rampant growth, and those are in your deck, right? So rampant growth, you pay 1 green and 1 more, you find a land, put it on the table tapped. Cultivate, one on the battlefield, one in your hand. Kodama's Reach does the same thing. Then at 4, you have stuff like explosive vegetation that you might have, or similar. It finds you 2 lands that puts it onto the battlefield tapped. At 5 mana, you have stuff like Traverse the Outlands. At 6 mana, you have something similar to Traverse the Outlands, which is you find lands equal to the lands that you currently have.
Mhm.
Um, I forget the name. But
Yeah.
so at more mana it does better, but it starts at 2. There's a couple that do it at 1, right? So for 1 mana you go through your deck, you find a basic land, put it in your hand, so not on the battlefield. That's what that starts at 1 mana
Yeah.
invested. So I don't usually play those. I play those that put them onto the battlefield, right? Because in hand, then someone can say, all right, so now discard your hand. I'd rather have the card on the battlefield, land specifically.
Hey, by the way, question. So how are you looking on time? Because we usually play a game. Do you have time for another game, or are you all timed out?
I didn't start cooking before we started our call today, so I need to get cooking.
Okay,
Otherwise, I would. I mean, I would love to, but then it just gets very, very tight at the end of it.
that's no
So,
problem. All right, man. Have a good day. I'm gonna go have some lunch too.
all right, provecho.
Yeah, gracias. See you next week then. All the best.